Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special edition of the Four Seasons Fire American Soccer Show, episode number 692. My name is Daniel Feuerstein. I'll be your host tonight. Once again, our clubs, leagues, players, national team, and other fabulous moments. You can get your daily reading from me and other writers over at Beyond the 90, at beyondthe90.substack.com, and locally on New York Soccer at baddogsports.com. The chat room is open. Come on in, discuss amongst yourselves if you like. It's also open on YouTube. So we are going to get ready to talk about more Open Cup qualifying as we get ready to bring in my guests tonight. They are running Bold City SC out of Jacksonville, Florida. Joining me right now, the president of the club, Mr. Brian Flinchum, and the head coach, Fabian. If I can just remember how to pronounce his last name correctly, I just want to make sure I don't make a mistake on the cookie jar. Fabian Banchiero. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Welcome to the show. Better late than never. Very happy to have you both on.
Hey, thanks for having us. Can you hear us okay?
I hear you loud and clear. You're perfect. Thank you so much. Brian, for those of us not familiar, of course, with Jacksonville soccer outside of the Armada and very soon Sporting Jacks and USL, when did you build the club, and how long has Bold City been around in Jacksonville?
Yeah, sure. Bold City, we're a relatively new club. Fabian and I are friends. We've known each other. I'll start there. That's probably a good segue. He was actually my son's coach over on a club team here in town called Prime years ago, and we became good friends. And both of our sons wanted to play at a higher level. But here in Jacksonville, there's just not a lot of semi-pro teams. So we started. We had already started a youth club for very young children, ages 2 through 6, and started to expand that into what it is today, about 400 or 500 youth kids. And Fabian and I, we started the semi-pro teams about 2 years ago. Originally, it was part of another club, CH4, and then we branched off. So it was called CH4 Bold. And then we split those teams over time for a variety of reasons. And this is really our first season under the Bold City name flagship, even though we've been around for about 2 years playing semi-pro. But ultimately, what we were just trying to do is our kids are playing. We wanted to keep participating in the sport. I think that happens to a lot of people. And we've kind of taken it maybe to a step or degree I don't think either of us necessarily planned, but here we are. And we just formed a Division I team, and we have our premier team. So we have 2 teams here, and we're pretty pumped. But Bold City is, like I said, we're not the same scale or size of Armada or Sporting Jacks, nor do we aim to be. We're probably not going to go get $50 or $100 million investors to build a huge stadium and be along those guys. But we're happy in our part of the sandbox.
No, absolutely. And, look, it depends on where you want to be in the sport. If you don't want to be in the professional levels, you want to be where you're comfortable. And that's absolutely understandable. Fabian, if I can ask you, when you were broached with this idea to start this club, what did you think from the start?
Oh, no, we were very interested. I was very interested. I mean, this is something that, I had been thinking about on my own before I met Brian for many years, because I thought there was a gap in what we call the pathway, right, between the youth soccer clubs and professional, right? There was always the college route, which was, I also coached at the college level. But there are so many players that don't want to go to college. They want to work, but they also want to could pursue their dream at playing football. So there was an interesting kind of niche there that always was something that I wanted to explore. And then again, because as our sons, got into that age, that's when we sat down and started putting a project together. And I was super excited, obviously. And then for me to coach at this level as well was something that, having coached at the college level, having coached, at the U19, U20 level, that this was a nice step up for me as well. So a lot of things were very attractive about the proposition. But on primarily is to give opportunities to so many players that are so good, but because they don't get college, kind of get lost and don't get opportunities.
No, absolutely. And you got to find a way to make those players come over to your club so that you don't lose them and they don't lose interest as well. And Brian, if I can ask you, we always talk about these clubs that happen in South Florida, obviously Central Florida, Orlando, Tampa. What makes Jacksonville such an enticing hotbed of soccer players that you need to bring them over here and to make them feel that they are important, not just for you, but for the town as well?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'd say Jacksonville, our population size is about 1.5 million. I believe we're the smallest population team with an NFL team, population city with an NFL team. So when we go up the likes of Orlando or Miami, um, that's at another level. And so a lot of people overlook Jacksonville. We are the fourth largest town after Tampa, Orlando, and Miami in the state. Uh, we do have great players, but obviously we don't have the number of players to go out versus Orlando or Miami. Orlando, we are in a conference where everybody's pretty much in Orlando except for us and one other local club. And for us to find key players, it is very challenging. Our Latino population, which obviously does more soccer than the rest of the population, is smaller here as well. So even though like Orlando's maybe 3 times our size or Miami's 5 times our size, when you take into account demographics, we are even at a bigger disadvantage. So we have to work incredibly hard to get quality players, identify them. I think we've had 400 people trying out with us since June to fill 2 teams, and we already had about 20 of those 60 roster slots filled to start. So it's incredibly difficult to find solid players at a very high level in this city. Nonetheless, though, we do want to give people a chance to play at that next level. I don't know if I answered your question on a roundabout way there, but
It's okay. No, it's fine. I mean, look, the point is you just want to make sure you get your players or get players that want to come and play, locally for this club. If they're not able to go anywhere else, at least there's something
yeah,
around there, for them to get into. And, Fabian,
and I think
what,
a lot of
go
people
ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, a lot of people don't really understand that UPSL, the quality that UPSL is, or really any of the teams, NPSL, USL2. I think a lot of these younger guys, they don't really understand that a really good UPSL team would beat most Division One teams. So we have a lot of kids that'll come out. Like we're having tryouts tonight again. We do them every month of the year. And a guy's like, "Hey, I want to make the UNF team. I'm 18 years old." And I smile, and I'm like, trying to give him a rundown. He's like, "Well, what are the teams you have? What are they like?" And I was like, "Well, Division One, probably in Jacksonville, we're like a Division Three type team. Maybe if you got it really good, maybe a Division Two, and a premier team could be a really good Division One team, depending on who's showing up. Because at this level, you carry a 30-man roster for a reason. Everybody's got a life, and nobody's always there." And his eyes got large. He was like, "Wow, I had no clue that it's going to be this difficult to play at this level." And but you have to be. I mean, we have teams in our bracket. Club de Leon has got 5 professional Argentinian players. FC America, I believe, has 8 players who played for Flamengo in Brazil. So this conference, just so you know, has 6 of the 13 teams are in the U.S. Open Cup qualifiers, more than I think any conference in the country. So I won't say we're the best conference in the country, but we're definitely one of the best.
No, absolutely. And it's going to be a lot of fun when we get to that second round this upcoming weekend. Um, Fabian, if I can ask you, I'm not asking for the playbook, obviously, but what style do you like to play for your club? I mean, do you like to press? Do you like to bunker and then counter, more of a flow? What makes Bold City dangerous on the pitch?
Well, again, coming from an Argentine background, I'm very tied to my roots in that style of play. So it's a lot of accurate ball movement, passing, very, very much attack minded, but at the right times. There's a time, and this is a chess game. That's the way I see it. And I've worked with many high level coaches, and I've learned from from so many. So at times, if you got to hunker down, you got to hunker down. It just depends on who's in front of you, and what's going on in the game. Every game is different. Every opponent is different. So as a coach, this is where my challenge is to figure that out and help the players figure that out as well. So again, my style of play is again very very Argentine type. But again, I mix it up a bit because I've worked with coaches from Europe as well. So listen, if I have to, in a particular situation, I have to play long ball, then I'll play long ball, even though it's not my favorite. But there are times where it works. So again, it's for me, it's figuring it out. I have a style. We have a couple of formations that with the boys that we always use. So that way, when we can transition during a game, it's easy to do because I can tell them go into we'll start with one formation and then, hey, things are looking a little different. Let's move into this formation. And the boys are trained and they know how to respond to that. So that's kind of how I approach every game. And it also depends on the players. Like Brian said, sometimes we have players that have to go to work. And for my starting 11, I only have 8. So I got to fill it in with another 3 players. So I got to figure that out as well. So sometimes my main, way of playing might not work because I don't have all my starting 11. So again, it's a bit of I got to do homework. I got to do homework and figure it out on game to game.
Let me ask you this as well, Fabian. What's it like for you to see the head coach of the U.S. men's national team have an Argentinian at this moment, leading them for the World Cup next summer in Mauricio Pochettino?
I mean, it's great to see, someone like Mauricio in that position. One of the things that I think is a challenge, and I'm sure for him is again knowing the American player. I think, and you've probably heard it from the media and always that have criticized them a bit in these last couple of games about maybe the lack of experience of knowing how youth players here work and develop the college system. But I mean, he's a professional. I mean, he's a very high level guy, very smart guy. So I really do hope that it works out. You've seen some snippets of it, his style and his philosophy working. But again, it's all according to the players that you get and you bring up. And one of the things, just not only for him, but for any coach in the U.S. is a challenge, is that we have so many players in this country, so much undiscovered talent. And I think that's where U.S. soccer needs to do a better job in getting those kids within the system and seen. And that would help any coach, Mauricio or otherwise, getting the best players. We have tons of players from all around the world. So that's why, I think it's so key for U.S. soccer to start focusing on discovering those hidden talents.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Brian, to go back to you, you play your matches at Fort Family Park in Jacksonville, unless you've changed venues. But how has that place been for your club when you got started?
Well, Jacksonville's with it being the biggest contiguous city in the United States by land, finding a place to play is actually a challenge because what's that mean, having the biggest city? It means having the biggest school system in the country as well, meaning that when if we want to go use a nice school facility, it's almost impossible to do that because of all the bureaucracy. So you're really kind of left to the public parks and trying to find places where you can, rent fields. Now, Fort Family is a nice facility. Walk Off Charities operates it. We have a bunch of everything here is now turfed. So it's a great facility in terms of what it can hold, the seating, but I think what we all have a difficulty at this level in the UPSL is trying to actually create a fan base to fill the seats. So, to me, we have a place to play. It's nice, it's clean, it's safe. But we got to find out a way to get more people in Jacksonville tuned in to actually coming out and watching soccer. And I think that's not a problem just for us, but even, the Armadas and the Sporting Jaxes, everybody has that problem, is how do we put soccer out there? I mean, we're obviously much smaller in scale or scope, but I think we all suffer from trying to push and market that. That's my bigger concern over facilities.
Yeah, that's always been the number one issue. I always say, I understand, if you're not going to have the finances to build up, I'm not asking you to build, another, BMO Stadium or an Inter and Co Stadium or the new Freedom Stadium that's being built. Furniture Miami down in South Florida. But, whatever you can find and whatever the standings are, I mean, I shouldn't say the standings, but the capacity is, I mean, whatever's good for you should be good for me. As long as you own the stadium, that's all that matters. And obviously, still got more work to go in that end of the business of the sport here in the country. But still, though, I always feel we've got to have every club building stadiums and making it feel like it's a true home. Fabian, now to your opponent for your second round matchup. You're facing Stetson FA within Florida. What is it about them that's going to be dangerous, and what do you have to do to prepare for this matchup?
Oh, we prepare for every game in the same fashion. No matter if it's a Division I opponent or an in-conference opponent. Like they say, every game is different. Every dog has his day kind of thing. So you never underestimate anybody. So we go into training thinking we're playing a final. Every game is a final for us. And that's how we got to focus on this game. Again, preparing. If we're playing against the best team in the league, that's how we're going to prepare for Stetson as well. Keep to our strategy, keep to our game. That's key for us for success. And that's pretty much it. Again, I don't underestimate any team in front of us ever. So I go out playing like it's our last game.
Absolutely. And Brian, final question here. Obviously, we already know about the brand new John Mata Cup. If you do qualify for the Open Cup for next season and you do go on that long run, you could win $50,000 and automatically go back to the next Open Cup tournament. Is that an extra incentive for Bold City to try and get to that fourth final round and then make a run?
Yeah, I mean, it would be great. Are we at that point yet? Probably not. I mean, this is our first time in the U.S. Open Cup. We're kind of just enjoying the moment, to be honest. I mean, if we make it a couple rounds, great. $50,000 sure would help the funding for the club, but that's really not the focus. Our opponent Stetson, it's their first time too in the Open Cup. They are in Division I, we're in Premier, but like Fabian said, that doesn't mean anything. But they're in it like for the first time with us, and we're both trying to learn the process. The rules, the substitution rule. There's a lot of stuff that's a little different from league play, and we're all trying to learn together and just enjoy the moment. So, I think at my point in life now, it's all about let's just enjoy it. Just being in the second round, and sitting there as the owner, as one of the guys who's kind of helped shape everything, and Fabian coaching it. We just want to go out there and enjoy it for the moment. Anything after this is just going to be, icing on, cherry on top. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, look, I wish you guys good luck in the Open Cup qualification process this upcoming weekend. It should be a cracker of a match against Stetson FA. All I can wish you is good luck against Stetson, and let's see what you can do. And thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time and having us on. Really, we hope to speak to you soon.
Hope to speak to you soon as well. President of the club, Brian Flinchum, head coach Fabian Banchiero of Bold City SC. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me tonight. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. And this has been a very fun show to talk about this, once again, Open Cup qualifying. Because obviously with the Open Cup, anything can happen. It's an exciting adventure for these amateur teams attempting to go out and get glory of their own. Either battle against your fellow amateur sides, qualify, and then you hope because you're a David and you want to knock off a Goliath. So it's going to be fun, exciting, and hopefully all of you will enjoy these second round matches. Once again, this Friday, we got one match, a bunch of matches on the weekend on Saturday and on Sunday. Once again, on October the 10th, which is a Friday, October 11th, a Saturday, and October the 12th on Sunday. I want to thank once again Brian Flinchum and Fabian Banchiero of Bold City SC for joining me tonight. My name is Daniel Feuerstein. Join me again next time. And once again, please, 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 please enjoy your football. Thank you. Take care. So long. And bye-bye for now. Have a good night, everybody.